reason why NRG hasn't really played Lotus in this stage as we get into the Samsung OLED match start is that a lot of teams were permabanning against NRG as first ban or second ban. EG, they want to face off against NRG on this map. They're also changing their comp. I like what Ender brings to the table in terms of the game plan for EG. There's a way that they could dissect the map a lot here on the attack side, especially with Bao trying to bait this wall for the side of NRG when you have Brock in the roster. That said, though, the pistol run has 3 players of NRG looking to encroach onto Bao at the start.
So quickly, too. Not wasting any time. They opened a door to rotate the map. I don't think Bao's even going to get a timing on anything as they are cruising forward. The first shot is going to allow EG to know that there is so much going on behind them, and they've already lost 3 members just like that. Bao could be an answer, but Zerona has to wait a little bit for this. There's one, the second they were hoping for, and it looks like this is going to be a quick one for NRG as Zerona starts to get the dancing shoes on. It's swept off the dance floor by Brock, and that's a pistol round for NRG to start off Lotus.
You can already see the 6th sense from Zorono into that one, though. Isolating one fight, knowing that one's going to rotate over. Where it worked so well on the backstab right here for NRG was just unfortunate for Bao because he got the first pick, but just whiffed a couple of other ones too, and they couldn't trade off each other. That was actually very doable for EG to salvage, but nothing but errors actually from both camps from beginning to the end, and they need to clean that up right away. I think not paying attention to the B main for Bao at the beginning, especially when his camera's already broken. You have to be wary of those lanes. That's your responsibility as a Cypher to watch that flank. And now NRG is able to score up early with the pistol round. EG grouped up together, just doing some basic stuff, trying to see if they could push the lines away, trying to get some controls of some orbs. But again, this is a tough opponent that they have to play against here on Lotus. NRG is currently 10-0. On this map since May 29th, playing against the top teams internationally as well, from Stage 1, Stage 2, and then going into the EWC qualifiers to EWC matches. They were looking unstoppable on this map just because of how good they're able to read this map.
It shows their versatility, too, with everything we've seen them play recently. They're hitting the site. Hold that thought. Brock's able to squash Evil Geniuses as they try to squeeze through the utility. A nice little classic with cheese there onto Kiko. 2 more for Brock. Sorry, Scuba got one in between there, and NRG clean it up. And it shows that Ethan's been on the KO just destroying, and they have other things that they play, but back to this composition for Lotus, and they don't miss a beat. Yeah.
Right now for EG, though, with this second round, I still like the opener. You set up this bully smoke that I like to call here on the top of the C smoke. They go for a 4-man push right through the wall, but then Brock finds that perfect timing. But keep an eye on that, right? When we talk about disrupting the lines and disrupting the vision and preventing from NRG of getting information in the round, it's the Viper Wall from Zerona and his lurks. It's what Bao could do with his cages to bait walls. It's what Superman could also do as well. So they have a lot of moving pieces here to force these rotates from NRG.
Moving quickly towards Rubble. A quick teleport from Superman. He's going to be the first one. Just gets out of that range of C's. Nicely played. And this is one of the spike down rounds for Evil Geniuses here. Talked about that Zerona utility. On top again for the team. He's been playing crazy. Spams out Mata in the Phantom fight. And yeah, we just even heard Potter in the interview say he's kind of a Phoenix at heart. But he's been crushing on the Viper lately.
EG's just trying to force rotates right now and trying to force NRG's hand. They've already accounted for the Fade prowling towards that front of that B site, but here's Zerona trying to cut the rotate.
Gets crossfired by NRG. They're moving up very efficiently with protecting, I should say, very efficiently with each other. As EG tries to move up. Bao still hasn't made too much noise to really make NRG care too much. And there's 40 seconds.
Because they saw that Fade, EG here on that door, Bao should start activating in the front of this B line to try to go for that fight. But you see here the rotate back from Ethan. This will be a huge fight for Bao to take. Beautiful timing.
Ooh. Clean. Camera opens it, but it has to be a quick decision. This is really just being read by NRG as they get to the site. Scuba looks to lock him down with the Outlaw, and that's 2. Only room for 1 Scuba in that site. And now they move forward. Plant under pressure here. Kiko's not going to be too much. He knows he has to source the first person, and then they can go for the planter. NRG is being so methodical about this.
EG right now, I know this is very early into the game, but the read of the macro and trying to understand the prep that they have versus certain teams when it comes down to the macro is quite nice. Remember the games against Leviatán in the past too, even though they lost it in very one-sided fashion, the way that they rotate and move around the map is quite nice. The execution though, when the camera clears out the site, they have to activate more quickly, but also make sure that they utilize more util to block these lanes, especially if you don't have Superman smokes to really enter the sites. Scuba had free reign on those picks, and that's a bonus round converted for NRG, and it's going to make things difficult for EG. If you're looking at the last couple of rounds here, they haven't really focused on controlling orbs either. And, it's back into just trying to spot how EG currently plays their attack side and how NRG wants to push on the defense, and they've done some great damage from NRG onto Superman with those paint shells to start.
Quickly making that a nade first instead of the C's. Really paid off. So it's just that round-to-round adjustment for NRG, setting up the chip damage for what's to come. And EG, for the first time, really turn away from this right side of the map towards A and start to use that space that Bao has gained. Pistols here mean it's got to be everyone in on the play together. And Zerona could have a great timing. He loves the challenge. The 1v1s he's been tested in. And 2 4Ks in his previous series, as now we see Scuba, who we know can anchor the site like no other. It looks to put the first touches onto EG as they slowly walk in.
This is nice, though, staying alive towards the water, and NRG wants to play soft site. They have no paint shells to deny the plant, so this gives a chance for EG to build some econ.
Sourcing a kill at Waterfall, and that gives time for Scuba to just peek out. He's still holding down the site. It gives EG so much trouble to get any footing here, but if Pancakes can buy just a handful of seconds, Zerona can start to do a little work and make NRG have to turn around. Actually, they're just going to press W to try and push Pancakes down. Can't get him for a moment. He somehow gets Scuba, and this becomes very real, but Kiko cleans it up. 9 HP. It was very close, but a 4th round for NRG.
Somehow EG almost, again, in those rounds where they shouldn't win, from the pistol round into that previous round, almost turn it back in their favor.
Yeah.
It's very low HP in the last 2 players. I think it was Brock and Kiko escaping the site with the skin, by the skin of their teeth. Maybe 10, 15 HP each.
10 seconds left.
But you saw here that Pancakes also stopped the plant when his team is starting falling down, so it didn't build into the econ to add the extra credits here that could be needed for EG. I was expecting as well with this type of game plan against NRG, and you know that this is like quote-unquote the default comp that you currently see for NRG non-stop on this map of Lotus. I'd like to see EG start exploring a little bit of the attack side op, just like John Cutie has done against G2 previously. He really knocked some players off their feet and really opened up the lanes and allowed here for a better comfortable role for the IGL to call for the side of Sentinels. We'll see if that continues forward, though, for EG wants to get their money right and get the operator in the hands of DJZ.
I was going to say, they got one of the best operas, right? Seems like an avenue for a W, at least until NRG figure it out again. The orbs are going to be the avenue for a win right now here for Digizine and the squad, as they're very close to having Showstopper online, Zerona's Pit online, so they can very well take control of the round. They just have to put those first few tasks in order, whether it's a kill or the plant. They keep running the clock down, though, and this seems to be favoring NRG.
We see that double push from EG right now.
Already, Haunt goes out. Kiko's just able to fire safely from behind the wall and then get out so they can reset this. Bao, however, doing his lurking, and he's picked right out as he only gets 1 kill there. Oh my gosh, they can't even get by the line of scrimmage that NRG is setting up as a defense on the map. We've only seen EG by the site a few times here.
Still love the idea. Responsibility there for EG was a lot in the hands of Bao. You wanted to try to sell that fake onto the A site. You're trying to battle in that spot, but nobody breaks that haunt. It becomes free kills there from Kiko on the top of Rubble. Imagine if Bao did get that timing. He already had a neural theft. He gets that pick. It allows here for EG to group up together and hit an open C site. But unfortunately, because, again, when it comes down to the executions for EG, they're missing a little bit of those protocols and the timings to watch after each other's backs, and also, of course, breaking the util, which doesn't allow for them to really cross the lines of scrimmages to really get some plants down. We only got a plant so far in this 3rd round.
Yeah.
They had their eco.
And NRG is able to come online just like that. And we talked about the composition earlier, but it's funny that it's kind of like they never reinvent the wheel. They're just refining as they come across different terrain, their opponents. But it always comes down to usually having an Odin and an Op, something that teams still haven't figured out from these two and don't use against them. So let's go, EG, bring out the Odin maybe. No. But it's crazy to see that that's always a way, because Brock does now have an Odin as we're coming out of this timeout. NRG are falling into that comfort, and they're going to be even stronger here.
Yeah, you're definitely treading into dangerous waters for sure with EG. Now that the economy is strong for NRG and that you could basically solo hold sites with Brock's util and his gun now. Always very good with the lines that he takes. Speaking of which, though, it is EG staying grouped up together back into a 4-1 setup. This could also determine what type of play we could have here from NRG, seeing if they could get some picks. If they could triple swing and get lucky off a pick, I wouldn't be surprised here that they start using their ults to gain more space. But as they tap around and you're seeing a lot of that util from NRG towards the A site, they have no choice for NRG but to keep players anchored up on B and C so far.
Just a hair off on a few of those spams. The reload allows them just to set up on a new line. Vice util triggered. They probably realized Bao's going to be rolling around the map for this, but have a good focus on A for NRG. Dizazine showstopper, but curtain called immediately right there onto Brock. As Mata scoots in and scoots out for a quick kill. They know they can hesitate off that. Ooh, instantly taken out of the air as Dizazine does pick up the Odin. And now they're going to start giving the medicine back to NRG. Oh, Bao just getting away from Ethan there, and there's still a scuffle in sight here. Scuba looking to rein in the players of Evil Geniuses, but he's mowed down by Dizazine. A neural theft here for Bao just to find out where the brains of NRG are going to be coming from.
Spike planted.
Ethan gets one, been in this position so many times, clears his right side to make the 1v1 a possibility. And with 10 bullets left, he has more than enough. Playing the time and the pressure on Dizazine. Ethan goes for the defuse with a smile, and NRG pick up 6.
Add another one to the clutch column there for Ethan with the experience that he brings year after year, and that was looking so good for EG. Stick around, wait for the sprays for the Odin to count down. The macro for both teams was actually quite nice because you would expect here as Brock is just spamming across that they would try to take him down. But that's why NRG still had 3 players in the site, or 2 players to help him out, so they had a 3-player setup. Yet, they gave too much space, EG took over, and it comes down to a 1 versus 2 despite having information that you're not playing off each other. And unfortunately, EG loses another man advantage scenario from the past games that they've had.
It does continue to plague them. Pancakes grabs the Odin. They're going to try to get on lines. It's so effective on Fade too because you're playing off your haunt, not waiting for one. So those spams can come right away. Have to pay attention to those for sure. As we see EG still on their side of the map to start these, giving NRG a lot of respect to start and clearing them out before they take space.
Everybody just has to be proactive around the map for EG right now. You see the movements out from the lurks of Zerona over on the A rubble, looking for a duel. You see Bao also in front of that B main, looking for a pick on that side as well. Well, no walls to be seen yet. Gives a chance right now for them to activate more. Ooh.
Puts his cape on and flies out of that. Superman getting a little tricky just to play with the ears, the minds. Oh, he gets spammed. Real tough as Brock is. That's like waking up from a nightmare when you start falling right there. You just got out.
Well,
still gonna get him. Yep.
Trips over his laces.
Stubbed his toe. Easy. Mata clears Bao. They're so ready for that. They're understanding. We haven't seen Bao. He's going to be somewhere around the map, but still the space is somewhat gamed as Mata. Now flips the site. This is all on Evil Geniuses to come up with an answer. They'll put 2 towards the heaven area. Ethan, the sentry to peek first at 1 HP. And that's enough for EG to answer back with 2 very quick. Superman has to adjust here, getting scrambled from the other side as Mata finds the kill. And they're always able to disrupt the defense that EG is putting together, especially when they find their numbers up like that. A 7th round here for NRG as they continue to shut out Evil Geniuses.
Very respectable for EG to try to fight towards heaven. It's a 3 versus 5 at that point.
Yeah.
The gamble is there. Do you want to try to throw the Nightfall and gamble to see where players could be at and just storm in that spot? But instead, they just tried to go for the trades and hoping for the best. Unfortunately, though, NRG had too many numbers for the fight on the top of heaven, and they always had that insert from Mata in front of B main because they lost Bao. Yeah, oh my god, for sure. It's NRG having an easy first half so far against Evil Geniuses.
They're not tripped up at all on the 3 sites of Lotus from that defensive side. They even don't have the numbers there for the strong site. They are retaking with confidence. And NRG is looking deadly heading into playoffs just from this first game. Spikes down for EG as they work about the map.
Cover going out.
He just wanted to swing. He just wanted to swing for the smoke. Taken out by Scuba immediately. Zerona is just seeing if he can find anything. Mata pushes forward. That's an outlaw, so they're just reading the state of the game so well.
They need to throw a cage down and bait out the wall. Well, okay, thankfully that happens. DJ Zine's able to jiggle well enough, so you're going to use the Nightfall to get into the site because there's no more smokes with Superman down. So EG will tempt it, but they get blocked by the smoke of Kiko, and they don't want to move in yet.
Scuba laying out the welcome mat, and Brock's going to be there with the hors d'oeuvres. The Odin just fires across the backside of C. Zerona kind of second-guessing popping out of here. Just going to let that smoke clear to see if you can't get a clean shot on somebody here. But what's the answer to NRG right now? Even with Scuba playing right up in your face, they know they're not going to lose enough power to lose the round because everybody's flooding in. 4K for Brock there as he picks it up off the Odin, and an 8-0 scoreline for NRG.
Yeah, adaptation is good there for EG, but for the third time, I am a broken record. It's the lack of execution. I think here, again, if they threw the cage and try to bait out the wall, and then at the same time it baits out a smoke, then you can maybe wait when that 14-second smoke comes down to go for the Nightfall and hit, because that will give the tethers. That will give you a chance to actually entry and follow up behind there. But just unfortunately, EG is just one step ahead of what could be perfect in terms of executions. We just trip off each other here.
I like the look of Stingers. I mean, if things aren't working, sometimes you have to execute a W strat, and Stingers are one way to do that. There's the out of util that's still got to get past. Digizin's going to be the first one. Actually goes for a stunted blast pack. Looks pretty sick. Catches Scuba off guard there as he goes down. And Brock now looking around with that Odin again, but he gets caught off. And yeah, the pick up of pace here for EG really pays off. An NRG scramble with 2 members to get back to B site.
Great Stinger rush. Just like Haven hit the middle site, use your pit inside there as well, and use your weapons inside the pit. Great entries by Superman 2 to trade off with Digizine. Now, Bana, of course, you want to move in, try to get some picks, man. These guys are rich. You want to give a chance here for EG to build up Econ into the next round, so you're just going to have to try to find the exits. At the end of the day, this will be a confirmed round for Evil Geniuses. There's no way you're going to lose a 4 versus 1, right?
Right. This is the 1vx that they get. They start to turn it around. It's too fast, right? Yeah, they're just looking for the kills. Shorty and Audi picks up a gun. That though is still so effective because EG's just getting back in. So to say thank you very much. We're still going to destroy your economy even with the plant. NRG are finding ways to make it tough.
2 more pips, a weapon upgrade.
Yeah, crazy.
But now thankfully for Evil Geniuses, it was a half buy that we had for EG that they were able to convert thanks to 2 big ults to swing it back in their favor to get the first round on the board, which means they'll have money to work with. It starts off, you mentioned it as a joke, but it's the reality. Pancake's coming out with an Odin.
Yeah, let's go.
I'll try to manage to fight through potentially all the slices and the smokes that we currently see here on the Rubble side.
They're just straight up taking these fights, realizing they have the aim and the ability to get out. That means EG has to chase, and chase a little too far as that one goes back in the favor of NRG now. Numbers up. Still around the map. Bao's working. Superman denies that utility here. He hears the reload too, so he's taking space perfectly off the mechanics on this. A second Prowler from Ethan. He feels suffocated a little bit, so they have to make this work. Superman has to wait for the HP, though. The pause has been so good. to get this strength back on B site, and Kiko gets the line. Wait, Pancake's getting one, but it's still Kiko and Scuba able to close in. EG get into these positions that light at the end of the tunnel, and then NRG just keeps closing it off.
Bao loses the confidence of actually trying to get space throughout all of this chaos. He found that confidence pushing towards that C line when he had an ult to work with, but this time wants to play a little bit more prudent. Still a chance to do 2 individual 1v1s.
This is crazy for Bao. Oh, Kiko more than ready to take him down as they were playing front and back. So no angle was unwatched. 9-1 here as EG's momentum is no more than 1 round.
Yeah, I think every single one of these rounds where EG is trying to open towards the A-side Rebel, they're just instantly denied. I don't know how many times we see like a touchdown paint shells right at the feet of Superman every time he TPs towards Rebel. Yeah, it doesn't do enough damage, but at the same time, it still creates a lot of problems in the exec that EG is trying to do to control the A line when they have 4 players out there trying to take that space. So you're really trying hard to figure something out on the fly to try to salvage these last couple of rounds here for EG. I mean, that's why Coach Potter is using her second timeout here, and I think it makes sense. You're looking back on the defensive side. We talked about how good of a composition, in my eyes, that they have in terms of sport and a little bit the setup for the attack side, but it's still really good for the stalls. Now you see the NRG map pool too, and the reason why I wanted to bring this up as well is they've only played 4 maps so far in this stage. And Lotus wasn't really in this one because, again, nobody wanted to play against him, so they had a chance really to...
For a good reason.
Exactly. keep a strong map pool, and also to show, like, if you still want to try to think that you could anti us on our main maps, well, here's the proof in the pudding. We're going to be able to still dominate that and still carry on what you mentioned before here, Riv, the momentum to carry into the playoffs to show that they're still a top team in the world, that they can still continue their form of the champs of last year.
Well, they are surely bringing everything to the table for this game with a 9-1 scoreline. EG now come out of a timeout, and they're going to see what they can do here. Let's listen into the comms to see what they've come up with.
3A.
Go. On the left side.
3A side, boys.
Side. Let's fast pressure this guy.
Yeah,
On the right, on the
come
right.
back. Get ready to retrace A, boys.
Gonna bet the wall. Out. No wall. It's like a deep wall sometimes.
2A.
Raise almost so on me.
Come see 5. Okay, I'm gonna tether Ben. Tether Nate.
Can you dog right side?
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
Tether Nate and the dog right side.
Ben Vice. Top side.
Nice.
More on the right. With them through. 1, 2.
Last player standing.
Anti.
What I got my...
Oh, bro.
Yeah, nothing working there, unfortunately. And even when Superman finds the timing, unfortunately not to the form that we saw Superman on the last week, missing a couple of shots on Kiko's back. And at the same time here you see, once again, they lose their smokes. But the reason why EG's leaning towards the seaside is that they could still use as safe haven a Nightfall to entry to the site. So you're trying to at least find info as a semi-dart by throwing this camera from Bao. But there's just way too much util still available for NRG to stop that hit. So the open seaside, you can't really pop into there if you're not trying to bait most of the util on the seaside, especially if you're playing against a Vice and Viper.
I would say maybe string out the rounds a little bit more, but they're going forward. Zerona, good for a trade.
Uh-oh.
Mata, just playing fundamental Valorant right now. A nice shot and ready to take the next one as he stays peaked. The walk in here. How do they source this? You think Superman would have just a moment to give some info to the team, but he's instantly taken out from his ultimate. And that leaves EG with 2 members. So quick into the round.
Even the Nightfall missed Mata in the corner. So as you're trying to jump outside of the smoke, I think it's the story as well for EG on this attack side. Every time they're trying to take space, it has to be by trying to jump through a smoke. And when you're looking at it, the forward smokes is currently from Kiko's side, so it's only an omen, right? You could try to burn that a little bit earlier and really have a better chance to run a mid round instead. But every time they're just trying to surprise NRG's position by hoping for the best when they're jumping out in the open, being a jack in the box and hopefully scare their opponents. But unfortunately,
30 seconds left.
box keeps getting closed on them.
Arc goes down.
Planted.
Kind of playing a high-low towards waterfall, but the angle's just not there for him. So it seems like they're trying to take little mini fights here by themselves. as they are going to have to check behind. I mean, they have the trip. The door has to open for you to check the trip. Maybe they thought they got jumped over, but we're focusing now from Bao in sight. Pancakes for one, thinning out those numbers of NRG before they can get even onto the spike. This timing is actually huge. He's right behind Mata. One for him as Mata gets a third. Count him up. Keep racking him in. Bao now in another clutch situation. In this one, he wants to make up for. Goes for the ultimate, but it's Mata just screaming through for a fourth. A defuse. Another round for NRG with an 11-1 first half.
Heard him coming from a mile away, yet wants to throw the hat in. That weapon pullout time is too slow.
Yeah.
Didn't have a chance to really hold the corner and fight that against Mata, who's just W running across the board. And look at him getting the effect from the first kill to the last and showing a dominance for NRG here in his first half on NRG's map pick.
It looks like there's no stopping NRG right now. We'll see what Evil Geniuses has when we come back from the break.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up here. It all started when I got to the FIFA World Cup, and wow, thousands of Verizon customers.
Oh, you got the free Verizon tickets too?
No, I'm with amazing seats.
I'm sorry. Okay.
And even pitch side access.
Are you? David Beckham, a Verizon customer.
This used to be for players. Now it's for Verizon customers. No one gets you closer. Only on Verizon.
It's always fun to hear about the behind the scenes from the teams. And Bonkar, I just want to ask you, how is a day of practice look like for you guys?
A lot of fun, to be honest, all the time. Just a lot of talking, a lot of fun, a few pracs, a little bit of offline time running around together with just no opponents and just going wherever the flow takes us.
A lot of fun, maybe a little bit of practice?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome back to VCT Americas as we head back on to Lotus, where NRG will take the attack side with 11 rounds from their first half, and Evil Geniuses are looking to live the evilest they have ever lived to try and come back on this one and gain that momentum.
Yeah, usually when the stories of evil plans, they usually get worried about the heroes, right? So hopefully the evils wins today so we can have at least a close game on this first map.
This is the beginning of that story arc.
Yeah, let's see. Lots of them looking to fight towards the A line, but it's going to be a different look no matter what, right? You have AG playing a Cypher. The camera is probably going to try to spot some players above the wall, so maybe they could spray through that, but outside of that, it's just NRG stopping and rotating all over towards the seaside.
Supermen should be able to TP out to safety. They may chase past the trip. That's the hope. If NRG hits C. All right. Oh. Actually, and the nade didn't actually hit the trip, so they have a chance to work off for this on pistol round. Never mind. Quickly cleared. They don't have a chance to peek because they hear so many. He's waiting, though, to try and make it a bit of a trap play. Zerona didn't really have the crossfire online until now. Every camera angle. Good stuff, Obs. Getting that Digizine shot, and now NRG making a case for another site. How many times have we seen this?
Great shots for sure. And now they're just grouping up to play the numbers for EG. So player advantage once again for Evil Geniuses. And this will be the story if they could actually start turning it back in their favor. Lots of mapping time to work with, though, for the side of NRG. Getting outside of the radius where they're not going to get hurt, and especially with the haunt being thrown, that's not going to have be available, rather, once EG starts to play the retake.
Why do they have deja vu situations of Scuba running to another site here to plant for a clutch? This time just a teammate and a few more on the other side. If we remember from that Leviatán Haven overtime game. Here, though, it's to put the map point on Lotus versus Evil Geniuses. Kiko with the Sixth Sense gets the quiet hop. Denying util. This favors NRG right now, and so does that as Scuba gets one, another, and it's up to Scuba. Oh, he does it! Again and again! I'm surprised his name wasn't on that clutch list. Scuba brings it to 12 for NRG.
Yeah, if he actually was one of the OGs coming into partnership, definitely would be up there. But he joins the roster a little bit later on in the year 2025 and is able to move with the rest of NRG to win the Trophy of Champs with Mata as well.
It's a party over there. They're buying a lot of sheriffs on that pistol round, and they're moving around because who's going to be able to trade with you? Maybe one, but you're always getting that guy with that damage.
Yeah, and when you're looking at the state of this map as well, when the Viper Wall comes down and the smokes get dissipated, there's such big open lanes for the players to fight. So I love the pistol look. Now it's desperate times, of course, for EG. 4 spies for the rest of this game if they could actually come back in this one. But as we've witnessed, everybody's been watching this game, right? The same game as me. It's pretty one-sided so far.
Yeah.
Should be able to end here, but thankfully, Digizine is at least able to score up a first blood for the camp of EG.
Yeah, making some noise, pushing that A main.
No charges.
And they're wondering if he's still there. NRG taking their time to reset on the map. They've had full control, so they realize when, like, wait, we've lost a bit of vision, how much they change their pace and go right into search mode to make sure it's not a problem for them. Brock on the other side, giving nice info and taking some space.
That's where they're probably going to start seeing for NRG as well when and if Battle keeps setting up right now towards the C site. Remember why maybe some players and some teams decide not to use Cypher anymore. You can throw one paint shell in there, breaks all of the kit, and there's no more stall on that side.
Kiko
30 seconds left.
about to phase 2. He knows he needs to get the smoke off first. Use that util. And now they can get a double push in here. Paranoia is just on their side. Oh, it was about to be traded out. But the timing's there for NRG instead. Zerona, oh, he got his head on a swivel, and it doesn't even matter. He's iced by Ethan. As Digizine peeks in with that other sheriff just to creep in by Bao, and that's quick work for Kiko and NRG. 13-1 on Lotus, just like that. Blink and you'll miss it. The champs are in form.
I think any matchup currently against NRG will be very difficult moving into this very map. Hopefully, though, the game plan will continue to be macro quite good for EG, and hopefully during the break between the maps that they have a chance to talk through how they want to micro a little bit better and run their team plays a little bit better.
Mata's with the only ghost. All sheriffs again for NRG here. Actually, quite a few. That long range that they favor on these pistol rounds as they scream right into B site. They start to close that. Ethan, fake plant to see if anybody pops out for a shot. And then they're already set up for post-plant while the plant's happening. Superman low, and EG encroaching ever so slowly. Looks like they want to clear elbow first, but they're not going to have much time if they do this at the pace.
Yeah, might have to wait for the high tide to come down. Go for the flank on the B main first.
Scuba tested. Oh, gets a backwards jump. He is going to lose Brock for that instance, and Digizine comes in for another kill here. EG pushing well into the front side where NRG entered, so that means they're going to have to flip the site. Oh my god, and they still have the answers. Still tucked in. The defuse tries to go through here, and they haven't cleared the site just yet, but this is one of the ones that could work. Oh, he goes for it, and it doesn't work, and that means it's even more pressure on EG for the defuse. The walk-in happens, and it's never gonna work. Ethan gets the shot. He goes down, but the round goes for NRG.
I already felt in the retake of EG that it was going to be very difficult. The first curveball through the Viper Wall was perfect. They catch one off guard, they take down Brock, but then you have a 3 versus 1 in the B main. And instead of going for a triple swing for the kill, you burnt the Paranoia from Superman from the bottom staircase. So what type of flashes do you have on the retake into the site? Nothing. So now, once again, just like Lotus, you're running through smokes, you're getting picked off, and you give a chance for NRG to turn it around. They almost got the defuse under the nose of NRG, but at the end of the day, it still comes down to the pressure of the time of the defuse that makes EG scramble, and those mistakes happen.
You could see feet on the one-way, and he still kept swinging. Oh, EG is kind of antsy. They're hungry to get these plays, but also forcing a few errors for themselves. As NRG get the plant.
Spike planted.
And they'll be able to set this one up nice and easy. Evil Geniuses will look to just die to the spike here. It's so clean. You hear NRG in their interviews, and they say every game is a we-must-win game type deal. Doesn't matter if it isn't a championship or not. So that's why they always look unstoppable.
Well, that's why you want the championship point as well. This is the last one you get before you get into the playoffs and see how deep you go in the standings to get more points there. And they're what? If they win this one here, they're going to be 1 point away from tying up with G2. I think it's at 17 points. But most importantly, you know how difficult these matches are once you get into the play-ins. Just like Ender said, what's happening currently in EMEA right now, so many Tier 2 teams are actually upsetting the current partnership teams in their current runs. So we could have one of those games. We have M80 for Christ's sakes in our rosters, right? They could knock down teams like NRG, and if you fall down early, thankfully, at least hopefully, you have the safety net of the championship points to get through the champs.
Yeah, M80, they might be one of the most hungry teams that have been on the cusp of finding themselves on that stage. Bestia, 2G, teams that have had players on this stage that are going to come in very hungry that EG is going to have to worry about.
Super excited for that, to see the return of a lot of these players from partnership and probably come back with a vengeance, which, again, we're currently seeing that in EMEA. Magnum, Patty Tech, having a good time so far.
Well, so is NRG, as they are controlling this game and look to steer it straight towards mid and use that harbor wall for Kiko to break the side open. And he's really just the one kind of selling this. They want to see how much EG will move for the bonus round. Spam through, though, as Dizertine gets that first kill and Bao will answer across the map. They're finding the back of NRG the whole time with the little inserts EG has had. Ethan pushes forward as they have to make room in the site, but it's not going to work. EG is not stopping. They're pushing forward a little bit more, and the Stinger's only going to do so much from there. EG come back for the bonus round this time.
Yeah, stopping NRG's bonus round is a great start. Not getting it converted last time around there, just like on Lotus. But that said, NRG's walking into this rifle round with their own null command. You're seeing how NRG won this round. Lots of sprays through smokes that got some kills, and it's just a little bit harder here for the Stingers to play that long range in an open site. We'll see right now if NRG will try to go for some sort of a hit with an null command.
Shadows traveling.
Decided to put it on. Yeah, it could be a very well a fake to that. Oh, wait, the pop flash pulls Zerona's ult out immediately. You have to be kidding. That's crazy.
Guys moving over with the rest of the team. Probably null command into the A site as well.
Yeah. Oh, energy.
Only one person inside this A site.
Dash in, take that space. Super textbook here, but Superman looking to mix things up. The timing works for him. Scuba decided not to peek, and he's going to be able to clear him as well. It takes a third just to take the Superman down. Waiting for that wall to drop. It has fallen, so EG's about to get their peeks on. That means NRG is hiding to create the crossfires. Not looking at a Brock ultimate here, so he's going to try to get a long peek on before he can get back. Is he going for the full swing? The fight's already happening inside as the paranoia comes through from EG. Ethan clears with a fragment grenade. Look at them back each other up, kind of trying to take the same angles for NRG, and Bao gets two. In this, the late drone. The jig is up for Brock here. It's going to take the firepower, and it's going to be the firepower! The Brock to gone!
Oh, that's gotta hurt. Bao and Superman did whatever they could there. They each had a two-piece. That means that there was only one player remaining, being Brock. The util was great for the wraparound for NRG to just stall, delay. Perfect plant scenario as well, plant position.
Oh my god!
That never puts them in a place where they were supposed to play an A main in the first place and gives enough time. That's the reason why that plant went towards that back of the site, so that Brock could wrap around. Maybe not necessarily go into a clutch, but man, does it make a nice little highlight reel for NRG. That forces the eco for EG.
That is insane. I mean, you only hear it a few times, but he can use more than the Odin. That's for sure. Holy moly. How do you answer when you have these rounds for EG and you get deflated like that all the time, Vans? It's tough.
NRG kind of knows, of course, that EG's on this eco right now, and at the minute mark, trying to see if there's going to be some sort of a pop attack on that side, and already the recon dart comes out. That probably gives an inkling that there is a little bit of concentrations of defenders in the mid take. So look at them all fall back right now, all meeting up here towards the back lines, probably finish towards the B site. Especially after that first kill from Mata. Digizine tried to peek for some information. Who better than Digizine to do it? I respect that.
Yep.
He is the one that you definitely need in a roster for EG to score these first blood, especially if he has a nice pistol to work with.
They're reading the elbow play. Oh, nicely timed on Mata, trying to get that high tied up. So if they can get that weapon, it's going to be huge. It looks like they'll have time to do it. They're already pinging towards it as Ethan and the team ping into sight. They need to get the plant down and set up a reverse sight here, knowing everything's been flipped by evil geniuses.
So annoying, too, that Scuba kept his Viper wall, so any type of rotate towards spawn will be difficult to do.
Yeah.
And that also secures the information that NRG currently has here on how to play this post plant.
And they're not even letting EG get close to create crossfires. Taking the fights as soon as they come online, and another one happens. Zerona will try and enter all on his lonesome here. And that timer is already ticking, so this is the pressure of damage. And there's one. Ooh, the swing puts great protection between him and Brock to finalize that kill. He's going to be able to get half here as he swings it. And that's going to be the time that NRG needed to shut him down, shut him up, and take the round right back in their favor.
Good on Zerona to go for that one, though.
Yeah.
There was an eco that you had for EG, so you build the econ, the max bonus, you get rifles no matter what in the next round. But on top of that, getting the 3 kills makes it expensive for NRG. You're getting closer to your run it back as well. You're forcing these peaks to happen, so. See, you asked me the question of how do you actually fight around losing and getting deflated into NRG's play so far. You see the vibes are still up, and you see that they still have the confidence going for these type of plays so that they could play the long game and hopefully catch up.
And the operator now online, you talked about that in the first map. Digizine has that economy, has it in his hands, but they're going to be forced for a fast strat towards B, and also this mid strat that cuts off the transition. Superman hiding in just a small quadrant of safety, and Kiko sources him right out. Now they have to retake with that op instead of it being a first line of attack, which slows things down a little bit, and there's so many angles to clear just to get there for EG. I don't know if they really want it.
Such an interesting look for EG for that round, though. Focusing a lot of players to fight towards middle and leave the sights pretty much open. And only one person moving down that line was able to call it out for NRG to move into an open B site. And Superman couldn't hold his ground, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is one of the everything has to go perfect situations, or you'd expect EG to back away. They try to back away here, and this is actually going to be a hunted Digizine, and he's quite close to the action. A little dart. Ooh! Jump fakes Brock on the Phantom, and he's going to be able to stay alive here, but this is it. This has been EG trying to keep themselves alive in here, getting around, and then it going back in favor of NRG as they scramble to get control of the game from the champs.
Good to see the shots are good from Digizine, though. We haven't seen a single op from his side on the first map of Lotus. Albeit when I wanted to see some op on the attack side, I also wanted to see it on the lurker, so you could still leverage like the satchels, the spacing that Digizine could get. Yeah, this is a very easy series so far in the eyes of Bonkar. It's almost like he's in a Tesla, his feet up, autopilot, just watching the game unravel into his favor. But for Coach Potter, it's a little bit more work that she needs to do right now with the team to clean up the act on their defensive side.
Yeah, if it was NRG's idea to really put what they practice into plan, man, they are getting it round for round. Almost like having the ref being able to reset and like, good, just do it this way next time, and then they can. So EG looking to steal away that freedom. You talked about the vibes. We heard the vibes from Superman. It's just warming up. We're warming into it. And honestly, a 5-1 scoreline isn't all that bad when you know alts are about to come online here to start to turn around these instances, make it happen.
Seeing here, Kiko going into the Jet, so playing a lot of agents for NRG within this stage, being the Swiss Army knife for the team too, and You also saw, especially when it comes down to map like Sunset, where they were so far haven't won a single game, but trying different things to make sure that they could have a deeper map pool no matter what. But Kiko is definitely not only good in terms of the agents that he plays, but the firepower that he brings. He had the crowd buff going into Masters London, dropping like +20s against the tops of the world. And then even in the first map, even had like a +13 or something like that on Lotus itself. So he's definitely finding his form, treating Americas like home, just like London, and farming against EG today.
He is an international player for sure. Like, he brings it at home, but it's great to have in somebody like that. All right, we're going swimming this round. Reckoning goes out. High tide is up. And this is going to force Digizine and the rest of the team off. This is what makes it so hard to be an opper right now. This is you do not own a line because of all the controller util. Quickly planted. And they're actually taking a deep exit towards the ult here to make EG have to walk through everything and take that damage just to source where the spike is. All right, Pancakes. Dart's about to go out, and the team's going to try to act off of this. They see nothing, but that's also okay because they can use that info to try and get to position. Kiko is already looking him dead in the eye with the daggers. Ready for a close-up fight here. Pit still controlled. They haven't even done anything about the pit yet. EG has to pick up the pace here if they want anything to happen in this round. They're going in with sheriffs, and those have to be the sentries to source out the information. But they're just giving NRG too much respect, keeping him in here with the spike as well, which they've already made it out basically scot-free. Kiko goes down in the end there, and a 6-1 scoreline for NRG as EG just looked indecisive.
Kiko is just trying to tighten his shoelaces so he can close the gap on Zerona trying to run away. He only had a shorty to work with after the Blade Storm, so couldn't take the weapon away from Zerona's hands. But I understand you're trying to play the retake for our team. You're trying to get some opportunities to catch some players off guard when the wall comes down through Zerona's rifle, through Digizine's op, and then maybe you start upgrading weapons as you throw with the running back in there. But NRG gave them nothing to work with in the post plant. So staying very composed, despite them having such a one-sided victory for NRG so far, they're still making sure that they're playing the cleanest Valorant and not overheating in these scenarios.
Oh, in a tough spot. One going in, one going out. This is huge. Wait, runs right by him! I don't know how Brock just stayed alive. They get Zerona. Nice protection from Ethan and the crew to keep that safe. And they get out without a scratch, really. Oh, Kiko got scratched. I lie. So did Scuba. But this is a rotation now from EG. Trying to catch that in translation as they go from site to site.
Right now as Mata just got walled here, legged by Digizine, and he's also spotted the drone from Pancakes on the top of mid.
Okay.
Nice, Digizine.
Okay, warming up is the name of the game here for Evil Geniuses. Up for a fourth. Let's see it. Brock, he was the one to shut down a huge round last time. Now tested against Digizine as he pulls the up, but again, oh, it's gonna be just over the shoulder. And now Brock has the entire team coming in for a family photo. Superman cleans that up in a second round now for EG.
What a beautiful round by Digizine, cutting the rotates across. Like I said, NRG had so much information to start rotating on the other side, knowing that the B site's open. But these type of shots, super clean from the star duelist of Evil Geniuses. Top of the ratings when he got dropped by Loud, but was farming in the VCLs, but also in Ascension in itself. Seeing how and why Potter looked for a player like this. The amount of first kills versus first deaths that he's able to bring for a team has been so good since the Loud days to the VCL to even show it in this stage here.
A little bit of hype in mind, reset too from that Potter timeout. As AG start off with the first blood here. It's quickly taken by Ethan though. And now Mata and the rest of the team are going to start pushing inside. Ethan actually takes a little bit more space here to identify two members. So NRG can really sort out the space they want before engaging again. EG close to that first pyramid here. And it looks like they will wait for Zerona to get in. It's a smart play for the wall and the flash.
A big wall cycle is coming across here, but the drone's going to see a lot. Here comes EG closing in.
Scuba tucked in, knowing there's kills going on around. That's the chaos. Nice job by Bao to source a kill onto Brock. And this is the come around now for Mata. Anything happening inside is all really for naught here. If he can do this, oh my God, deja vu. And it's not gonna happen. They snuff out the nightmare that time. Superman takes down Mata and the defuse will come through.
They're trying to fake that one as well by throwing the cove in the back so that Mana could try to find a timing. At the end of the day, from the spike plant at the position, they probably had the idea, speaking of EG, that there was probably going to be another one of those trying to wrap around. Worked out well. Like I said, such good delays coming out from the wall cycles out of NRG. But once you start seeing EG encroach with the information on the drone,
Nice, guys.
they had the advantage on how they wanted to trade it. All right.
Okay.
Time to take control of the steering wheel once again.
A little bit more of an idea on why EG wanted to choose Breeze now. Setting in for the squad of NRG. And it is get to that op. And the first one may have missed, and they may have cut off Digizine on the first few lines, but he created his own space that round to make sure the op could come online. And that's exactly what the EG picked up Digizine for, to be that guy.
Yeah, and I just talked about the NRG, how clean they were in terms of the Valorant gaming that they've been bringing there throughout this series. But that time around, they weren't really playing off each other, and looks like Bonkar really wanted to clean that up right away. So he calls a timeout. Let's try to re-hit towards the A site. It's almost reminiscent. I remember in an interview of NRG continuously hitting A site, A site, A site of Breeze, because he's like, yeah, we're just trying to get some reps in, so let's try to bring it in one more time. So after the timeout, NRG now leading 5 players towards the A site. Starts with a knife to get information towards the A line, so they know at least that Digizine's not opping on that side. So let's see how they execute into A.
2.
On top.
Dead. Dead. One Phoenix.
I'm all in, I'm blocked. You guys
Mid-site, Phoenix.
What? What's that?
Nice. All dead.
2v2, boys, 2v2.
Rock has bomb.
Jet has up, guys.
Going close down. I'm just gonna walk through, bro.
I like it.
Go for it. Rock and drone in 2 seconds.
Bridge left, off.
Only Brent top.
You have COVID too, Adam.
Don't worry about it.
I'll ping him soon, wait. He's far, going up.
Tag him.
On the rope. Under the rope. Just get out. I have shocks for a bomb.
Planted mid-site.
You can go door at him.
Just show.
4 bullets at him.
He literally can't play.
We have double shock and dart later. Just live forever at him. Yep. Right here.
On ping.
1 jet smoke max too. Dart at 5. Adam will play first.
Mid-site.
I'm guarding first.
Picked up a rifle.
Guarding
rifle.
Good job, Adam. Nice fucking round, bro. There we go.
Yeah, we wanted some clean communications this time around for NRG, and we got it after the timeout. It was chaotic. There was some question marks being thrown, but what I really like at the same time for NRG is, and a lot of these teams are finding a lot of good value throughout this stage, is that it's not only just on the protocols on how to exec and how to play some clean Val, but when it comes down to these scenarios where it doesn't come out into your favor, you have to be assertive on the space that you take. Individualism has to come out to play, and that's where Mata just shined there on that 2v2.
It's something that Ethan has actually recently said he loves about this team and relieves pressure from him as the caller, because normally he was the mid-round second caller, making plans off of the first guy. So to have the team take mini fights by themselves, it relieves that pressure. Here, he's the flash pressure as they head into the site. Scuba relieves that on Supermen as they creep right in without too much trouble here. On to Evil Geniuses, up the gut. Pancakes hits out the Hunter's Fury and just misses out on a kill. But Mata sources one. They're fighting on all fronts here. They're still attacking in the post plant. And EG's just not ready for it. I mean, they didn't plant, but still pushing, I should say, in that site. Crazy stuff that NRG just aren't stopping.
Best insert EG has right now is Bao in the window, though. They don't have him accounted for yet.
And it counts.
Last player standing.
Quickly taken down. And now they know where Zorona is, too.
Spike planted.
Look to the right. Bit of util to get in here, but he's going to have someone lurking on him, too. Doesn't even have the angles necessary, and Brock takes him down for an 8-3 now in favor of NRG.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think outside of the operator for Digizine and him playing solo to try to block out some lanes and get some information here for EG, I feel like it's a little bit of a different outlook from EG in their macro, their positioning, and understanding where NRG are kind of starting their rounds. I wanted to praise them on their attack side when it came down to Lotus, that they were manipulating the map quite well and just missing the fundamentals of working together. But this time around, it almost seems like NRG always has like some easy entries at different areas, different spots. You saw a double lurk and a double push that got some value there on the side of NRG in the previous round. So NRG are leaving so many gaps on the defense.
They're just trying to just get sourced kills here in the beginning of the round. Extremity, but they've lost B. Kiko goes down right away. So the question is, how do they get in now?
Reckoning in pit, maybe?
Yeah, it's
simple.
gonna have to be the full team though. Everyone behind it. They're gonna look for a shot first. Pick up that gun. See if they can't get anybody caught off. They've chosen the soft site. And they're actually just going to walk it in. And why not? If it can be for free, you take it. Ethan drops Superman just like that. And now they cut it again. They're trying to be quiet about it, but Digizine says no way. Pressing the fact. Now into Scuba. He's been so clean from this position. You can't get him out. And NRG, when they're rooted into this site, are so hard to dig out. Brock gets a kill before they run it back can do any damage. And EG are being snuffed out before they can really even get into the site. A nice TP in, though, from Bao as he tries to sort something out, and Brock hears it happening. Really can't get anything by NRG in these instances. And yeah, Mata's ready for Zerona. They have all the angles covered from that spot. And another round comes in for NRG, a 9-3 first half.
The scaling is so beautiful for NRG to entry towards that B site. So jumping out the window, technically you won't get hurt by the person watching in that spot. And as they walk up, they hide the wall, so they're never going to see. Superman's never going to see them walk up. So it was going to be an open surprise, no matter what. Not a chance for EG to hold, and potentially not a chance for EG to turn it around.
It's going to be tough. They have to leave everything on the table when we come back from the break. Don't go anywhere.
You guys always see the players walk out, but what happens minutes before they do that? Usually they're going to meet right backstage. On my right I have NRG, and on my left all the way back I think you get the chance to see EG. So they're talking a little bit about the game plan, what they're going to do, and then they're going to line up right behind me. They're going to check that everything is ready, and when the indication is and when they hear the team name, they're going to be walking on stage.
Welcome back to VCT Americas, halftime of map 2. As we look to swap sides and get EG on attack here to see if they can get some momentum. That first building block is going to be pistol round, though. And NRG has been stealing them away.
Exactly. Not getting the one here on Breeze either. So currently 0-3. On the defensive side for NRG, if you're looking at their pistol round from the attack side compared to this one, they're a little bit less Sheriffs on their side. They do want to use a little bit more util, especially when it comes down to the ones that could stall for Scuba and Mata. So goes for them, Snakebite, Cove available. Should I say the high tide, as Ethan's trying to find his timing here through the mid-smoke.
Playing anti-flash on his way down. Oh, God. Didn't expect that second wall there for a second, and he didn't expect Superman. Inside the site still. Scuba is just between the pyramids. and they can just pop right out to make this troublesome, but EG answers very nice. The mid-round adaptation has been working here as Superman's able to get that flank kill and really start to send NRG for a loop. Mata with pretty lethal ghost will have to make noise to enter into the site, and they just have that insurance policy of Superman at the last moment.
Oh, no.
Vance, not like this. Oh, almost on the reset there. Bao is able to get the better ghost in. And they get out with the round. Pistol, we talked about it. That's the first stepping stone.
Still surprised of what was the call here for EG in the post plan, why both of them are walking back towards the A main. You already had Superman that cut the rotates over on the mid side, so he could play the contact for anybody walking across towards the A side, so the two guys on the pyramid could swing out. Maybe because of this position of Kiko right here, EG maybe expected it was a double flank.
Do you see my classic do some work?
I saw that shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, Superman said that he needed to warm up, that the team needed to warm up, and he had some great classic shots.
Ooh, more classics being fired here as we get into A main. And quickly scooting out. Mata's going to reset for a re-hit here. A right click. Oh my gosh. He just denies everyone else. Him and Ethan doing some crazy classic work at the front of A main to make EG worry about what's next. You got to be kidding. But they rightfully so. The trap plays and protocols they've been facing have been deadly. So the UTO clear comes out and they realize, wait a minute. We have this space for free. Has NRG been able to source a gun? No, Zerone is kind of deep on that kill, so it'll be protected. Fans, are they going to stop on the way in? They're just running behind Ethan's flashes, behind the team's protection. They've killed a few. Phantom for Superman doing quite a bit here, and the Guardian from Pancakes is going to add just that. Lots of pain to take down NRG for a second round.
EG, stop high-fiving. There's a Phantom in the sight. I don't know if they picked it up because it was like, what, a Bulldog and a Guardian they had? I think they picked up at the very last second. But yeah, it was very nice. Good round here for Superman for the pistol round into the second one. Their bonus round here, I mean, it was going to be a round where potentially they could continue to work for an orb and really work off the Zerona ult. But you have to give credit for Mata in that previous round when he got the right-click kill. And now forces Zerona to pick up an orb and look for an extra kill before they could start activating. So it's going to slow down EG's round for a bit here. Not necessarily playing any type of forward positions. They're just waiting to see if NRG's using util on their side. This round's going to develop a little bit more at that minute mark.
Looking for that Ethan spot. on the pistol round, that is. He is not going to be pushed, but he will be doing a bit of leaning for the team as Digizine leans into that, takes down Mata. So that retake for NRG becomes quite a bit tougher here.
It's a great start, too, on the bonus round for EG, because Superman only has a ghost to work with. So that's kind of weak when they want to try to entry into the site. It seems to be a split into this B site, but there's still two players of energy here.
Superman's wall just goes out. That's going to activate the brains of NRG to start rotating over. But it isn't really activating too much of EG because inside sight, Digizine is ready to work the back line just like that. He was a ghost for a moment. NRG had no idea. They're swapping it around enough time to make sure Zerona gets the plants here so they can min-max a bit more. And what a bonus round, like you said. This is the momentum and the confidence EG needed here.
So they didn't pick up a weapon or save the Phantom on the previous round, but at least Superman's able to pick one up here off the corpse of Scuba in the back of the site. Works out. I think right now Digizine just slipped through the net. Had such a beautiful 1v1 opener through the mid-double doors. There was no reaction coming out from NRG because of how they were currently setting up their defensive line. It's very similar to what we keep talking about when you're not playing a Cypher here on the comp and you don't have some early mid-control. The players have to play so far back. So as soon as the smoke comes up here towards this tunnel side, that blocks the whole vision of Brock. Ethan was trying to play an angle, and then Digizine is able to find the timing to get inside that smoke that allows EG to go for the pop split, and for even Digizine to get value of a two-piece on this side exec of EG.
Oh, and he gets the kill. So Zerona gets out there because he wanted to die, and then Digi gets his kill, so they're nicely setting up these rounds there at the end to chase down. And there's that opener. And yeah, that separated the map so much. Jeez. Thank you. He's like, I'm working.
Yeah, he's locked in. That's the gamer mode position of lean in, put your elbows on your knees, and just stare at the screen, because it's time for EG to play the comeback in the second half, looking much better on the attack side. Outlaw in the hands of Digizine, knowing here that NRG are going to be on a low buy. Only thing that Kiko has is, or at least that NRG has, is a rifle in the hands of Kiko. And a half shield. He's currently watching that towards the mid line, but he doesn't want to give too much space. And that palm flash attempt to peek, unfortunately, gets blinded by Ethan, so they still get 0 value on where EG is currently set up at the beginning of this round.
Well, they choose to try for A main next. And they will choose correctly. Behind door number 1 is the first blood of the round. Digizine goes down. Zerone is still here to crack that egg and make sure the team can get into B. And they'll be forcing Brock right off of the site. So this is about the EG post plant now. They are numbers down. They're going to have to really make this work if they want to keep the momentum up, because I feel like NRG could just take it all back with this round.
Mata picks up the Outlaw. They're going for a double flank so far here. They are trying to activate a little bit more quickly. Second flash doesn't give a chance for Kiko to peek as cleanly, but thankfully nobody was there. If they could encroach onto Scuba at the bottom of this B site, this Reckoning could do a lot of damage.
Superman hears it. He's going to be calling it, but he has to keep his eyes forward, hoping they jump over his head here without too much focus. Oh, he's able to get both somehow. What a correction and what a read. Now, NRG's hand is forced as Kiko dashes in. Actually gets two. Could get his ace. The first one in Americas as he locks it down.
Ace.
I'm baffled. How did that happen? Superman gets such a nice two-piece and denying the dynamic duo at the top of window, yet somehow Kiko still dashes in, and while mid-dash, gets out of it and gets an instant kill.
Oof.
Digizine was never ready for that one either, you could see. He was aiming on top of yellow. Look at that. The turn to be able to spot pancakes and spot bow at the same time. Just a human turret.
Oh my god!
That was insane!
You got his ace!
That is the ace. Crazy stuff as evil geniuses need to put a pause on that ace momentum. And they go for the timeout.
That could be almost as deflating as similar, maybe not as heavy as a 12-5 loss that EG suffered to MIBR and Haven. But that type of scenario here where Kiko is moving in like that, there's absolutely no way they should give that up. In moments where EG were losing a lot of those man advantages against MIBR, it was them running into somebody like Verno and just getting mowed down, where Verno just clutched against them every single time. I mean, you're seeing it here. It is not looking good for week after week in terms of how they're trying to convert their man advantages for EG, and it continues to be worsened against NRG today. And at this point, the reason why I'm saying how it hurts even more, it's that it had to be NRG running into them. It had to be one single guy running into them.
Yeah.
And he just dismantles the whole roster. And that timeout is just a timeout to calm the senses, pretty much. It's a Hail Mary timeout for EG to try to string as many rounds as they can to try to push this into a third map. But NRG are definitely in a position to get an easy 2-0 now, especially with that first blood from Kiko.
Someone's feeling it right now. Up through the door. It's the last point. Digizine was successful, and he gets shut down this time around. And they're all pushed up on some angles, so you can see Ethan has a pretty forward angle. Still watching down doors. Just checked from Nest here as Brock starts to lean towards A. It's like they just know what EG's doing based on where they're not seeing them for the moment.
And you see the differences of how NRG are currently setting up to find that active information. This time by having Brock droning on middle instead of playing towards the extremities. They could use Ethan with the knife to get info installed just like that.
Crazy.
So now at the mid round, you know that EG has a lot of players still looking for the elbow/mid control. trying to fight through that.
Okay, Digizine getting through was big last time. Now it's Bao, but he's already found out. He only had a moment behind enemy lines before they found him. Through the walls. A few inserts, but it's not back sight. They don't even know what's back there. EG still has to keep going, and they're going to plant danger zone here. Oh, Brockham was going down, but he gets out using util. Look at NRG just closing in so fast. Zerona is able to capitalize on one. Kiko now with the ultimate after that crazy ace round as he's going to start trying to identify positions. Hello. Zerona takes a few cuts to the back of the head, and they're still going for the fight. Everybody's just hit with util here, but it's up to Superman. He's going to put down the pit in the 1v2 situation. And this is his moment. Cape flowing in the wind. He's going to try to get this down. Doesn't want to enter the smoke just yet. Goes! He meets both of them inside the smoke because there's so much time before the pressure's really added. NRG play it calm, cool, and collected and bring it to 11 for themselves.
Almost felt like EG were trying to move forward into the site so they could leverage the pit to block out the tunnel, to block out the arches, but just unfortunately as they're just trying to set up here in the post line, they're also all losing their positioning. Zerona did his darnest to try to take some players down, but so many players once again sneaking through. The first one was that pick that Scuba got into Bao into tunnel. This time you just saw it on the screen where Kiko just got the backstab on to Zerona. So the protocols of the pulse plan that Ender was talking about here between the maps continues to linger. As pretty much now at this point a moot point. We're just looking for 1 or 2 or 3 rounds that EG could string together to make it look clean in these team-based scenarios. We just unfortunately haven't seen it yet.
Smartly playing in and out of the fuel to keep it up, but also playing that orb mid up and down. So Kiko, I'm sorry, Scuba doing multiple things right now to make sure EG's not having a good time.
And they're fine. I mean, this position, you have all this locked down on the B side.
And it was so quick.
You're locking over on this side as well for the A side, so really the only avenue that EG has is to walk contact back into B where they can get up, down, or make a lot of noise on middle where they have 3 players with Ethan getting ready to pop flash potentially for the swing through the smoke. Nah, you don't need flashes. You'll just swing through alone.
The first thing NRG did was shoot at the door opening sound. Okie dokie. Just cooked him up there. Fragment kill onto his teammate, but it's not even going to matter for NRG. It's just part of the day. Good cleanup by Superman. Very low to get that kill. But yeah, the time's already ticked quite far down. Zerona making some noise. Quiets it down. Great by Pancakes to draw the attention, and a double swing is going to regain control of the site. But Pancakes takes it right back for the plant here. All right, to stop Kiko is the challenge. It seems impossible in the previous rounds, but EG need to find a way to do it and keep this off of map and series point for NRG. Superman's low. On anything, he's first contact here. He's actually going to step out a little bit more to try and get a different angle to make sure Kiko has to look all the way around for this kill. Oh, what good timing. Nicely playing in the mind of their opponent. EG are setting this one up to work in their favor. Superman comes up with 2 8 HP kills to click this round for EG to 7.
I was trying not to talk because it was looking dangerous on that side, with Pancakes continuously jiggling from that default spot where he planted. You already had Superman into the A main. He had to be the first contact, and you kept jiggling there, and you get instantly owned by Kiko with the way he's been playing so far. Superman had no HP at the beginning, at the end, if it had to be a 1 versus 1. So, thankfully, though, they waited for the recon to come back up. They secured the position of where the rotate of Kiko was going to be on that 1v2, and then they played that to a decent trade to put their 7th on the board for EG. Still for Digizine. It's gotten value so far on both defense and on the attack, attempting to punish potentially any forward positions from NRG, but you're seeing the forward positions from NRG. It's still not to be affected by the operator of Digizine, which is nice.
Yeah. See where they go from here as it's towards the left side. EG want B. They're going to get sourced out pretty hard here. Everybody tries to hide in window for a moment. They just see Zerona. And that's not enough to commit any movement for the map.
Brock got information. He's falling back. He has the Hunter's Fury to work with as well. So play soft side, support Scuba in that sense, or even stay back towards the arches so that the team could meet up and flood with the Hunter's Fury. So NRG just wants to give that up.
Up and over, flash and in. Hunter's Fury on both sides are paying. Pancake's going to use it right away as we're battling amongst the lightning. Now Mata for one. Scuba answers with another as EG trades it back quickly to try and regain control of the site. And they're actually just taking the fight straight up as Brock takes down Zerona. They keep moving in now, the 2v4. This is just going to be Kiko sourcing out here. Should be Pancakes having trouble to make it happen. And yeah, he's trying to look into the site for the rest of the members of NRG, but they're everywhere making it work together as a team. And that's going to be map and series point here for the defuse as Kiko gets it. Now Ethan jumps in there to grab it.
Nice that the win con for both EG and NRG was hoping to find the beam. Who's going to pull the Hunter's Fury first? And we tried to shoot it against each other. And after Brock realizing here that he's not getting hit, just tried to do some pop damage inside the pillar.
How'd you do that?
I knew he was there, so I just shot him.
He knows too much.
Knows way too much.
But yeah, just a nice little hole by NRG towards the end, thanks to the Hunter's Fury from Brock. Currently at the top of the scoreboard at 15, 11, 11, triple digits now. Quite good in terms of what he brings to the table. I mean, all of the assists from the supporting cast that you just saw here from Ethan, Mata, and from Brock. Good on this map.
And they're ready to put the finishing touches on. Oh, he's so quick. Kiko already has his out before even engaging in the fight. And they're trying to squeeze through the door. They're going to try to walk through. Ethan says, no, what are you guys trying to do? And yeah, EG might have a little bit of the sight here, but they haven't taken anyone down, and a lot of these rounds are just coming from the post-plant retake of NRG, so they've got to thin the numbers first. And Kiko makes that even harder. It is looking grim for EG here as NRG are catapulting themselves into fantastic form heading into the playoffs. Spike is planted, and now the 3v4 as EG try to defend. Scuba got a peek. New one was there. Oh, just Pancakes denied vision, and that allows Scuba to peek out. They're trying to displace everybody, but Bao has the elevation. His frags at the end of the round have been critical. And again, he's down to low HP. Oh dear, he goes down. This is the frag. Pancake's gonna go down, and that's gonna be the defuse for Mata. NRG, quite clean on the series. Battle back Evil Geniuses on Breeze to make it a 2-0 and go undefeated in stage 2.
Big points there for NRG, and also comfort moving into the playoffs. Now skipping the play-ins, having an extra week of practice, being able to see after the draw show who potentially they could face off again. So that's going to mean a lot here for NRG side. For EG, though, it's trying to, I mean, the only thing you have right now to try to make it to champs is to make it to the top 2. So the gauntlet starts next week. You've had your reps in. You've tested a lot of different maps against some very tough opponents in your group stage. And then hopefully it's going to be enough for them to get ready here into the play-ins.